Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna play with some new makeup, specifically this new NARS eyeshadow palette here. I can't wait to dive in and create a fun look with you guys. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I now have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one and talk to me about any beauty concern you might have, whether you bought a new makeup item and you're not sure how to use it, or you want to buy a new makeup item but you don't want that sales pressure found in a store. The benefit of my service is I work for myself, so I will just give you my unbiased advice. So to make an appointment for yourself or to buy a gift card for someone else, click the link in the description box down below. So as stated, we will be using this new NARS Climax eyeshadow palette. Let's go ahead and review the swatches here. So as you can see, these swatches provide a pretty big color story. Some of my hesitations initially were just the big color differences. There isn't one cohesive look here, and I think that's the thing. You actually have multiple different ways to use this. There is a burgundy leaning, there is a green, there is a blue. I think for today, I'm gonna go into a green slash brown, neutral, more earthy fall vibe. I kept seeing this palette pop up over and over again, and I finally decided to cave in because everyone that I've talked to who's purchased this has enjoyed it. So we're gonna go ahead and create a look today. Something important to remember is when you buy a palette, it doesn't matter how many colors there are in the palette because you do not need to use all of them at once. This has 9 shades in it, which is out of my comfort zone. I prefer for like a quad is definitely my personal comfort zone, but even if it's a quad, I don't usually use all 4 shades. And if you buy this, you certainly don't have to, nor should you, use all 9 colors at once. So to start off with, I'm gonna go into a light color here as a transition shade, and I'm using brushes here. This is a Rephr number 15 brush. So all of my brushes are listed down below, and Rephr is having a huge sale until September 10th. So you have a couple more days, and it's 40% off the concept store. There's a lot of bundles that are 40% off. There's a new gift with purchase. It's a really, really great sale. So if you need any brushes, if you need individual brushes or bundles, 40% off is huge. This first matte color here is almost just like my skin tone. It doesn't really change anything, which is nice to have, just to put that in the crease. And then it'll make any darker colors we blend out later a little bit easier to do. Okay, using the same 15 brush, I'm gonna go into the matte green shade here. What's interesting about the mattes in this palette is they feel so soft and silky. Sometimes mattes can be a little bit drier, a little bit harder, but when you swatch, when you touch, and when you play with the mattes, they feel so soft and buttery. And I'm just placing this in the crease here and a little bit higher because I do have hooded eyes and I do want to see this darker color a little bit higher up. I'm just switching a blending brush just to buff this out because if you keep dipping into the same brush to then blend out, you're going to end up adding a lot more color than you want. So using one brush to add color and then a separate one to blend is a good idea. I'm switching to the Rephr 16 here. Okay, now I'm going into the center shade, the green color, with the Rephr 1. And I'm just going to place this on the mobile lid here. There is a little bit of fallout with this color here. Now, going into this shade here in the middle, this is going to be using the Rephr 14. This here is going in the outer corner. This is like an earthy brown with a little bit of shimmer. And I'm just going to enhance my autumnal vibe look here. I'm taking that color and just sweeping it under the bottom lashes and then just mixing in a touch of that matte green shade on the bottom as well. For the liner, I'm using my Chanel Stylo Yeux number 46 Vert Emeraude. This is one of the new colors that came out with the new liners. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. There's fallout, I think, from the green shade. The center color, I think that one had the most fallout. It's not a lot, but if you did your complexion beforehand, you would notice it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clean that up and be back in a second. All right, now for the complexion, I'm using my Chanel Ultra Le Teint. This is the new and improved formula. I'm in the shade B30. So does anyone have any travel plans for fall? I see a lot of people traveling. We don't have anything planned, but I see so many people doing it. I guess I'm sort of living vicariously through other people at the moment, but I don't know. Let us know. Have you traveled? I keep rewatching Angela Van Rose's blog or vlog where she went to Venice a couple of times, but she lives in Italy, so it's very easy, you know, just a train or, you know, a short drive over. I am just very much longing for travel and to feel jet set. It's fun, you know, but we'll see. We might just do another chalet, cottage, lake house, whatever you want to call it. We might just do that this fall and just do nothing but sit by a lake and hot tub and fireplace, that sort of thing. So I didn't use a full pump, like half, 3/4 of a pump, and you get pretty full coverage, which I love. I love this foundation. I forgot how much I loved it. And then they came out with like a new and improved version. So of course I got it. Okay, so for the concealer, NARS sent me these new color correctors that they have. So it's the Radiant Creamy Color Corrector. There is the Radiant Creamy Concealer that already exists, but these are color correctors here. These are a liquid formula, full coverage. It's supposed to be good for dark circles and also for color correcting if you have dark spots, like if you've had acne or any sort of like discoloration. It's supposed to be long wearing as well. So the way to use this, you're supposed to apply a thin layer, blend it out, and then put your concealer over top. They sent me 2 shades. The first one, light, is a light peach to color correct light to medium skin tones, and medium, peach color corrector to correct medium to medium deep skin tones. So I've been playing with these off camera, and I think for me, the lightest one here, the light to medium shade range, is good. The one that's a step above, I think is just a little bit too dark for me. You can kind of see the orange a little bit more. So we're gonna go ahead and use the lighter one here. The brush applicator here is different than the concealer. It's like a little brush instead of a doe foot applicator. It's like a little paintbrush here. So I'm going to place a little bit here, not very much, because I'm going to apply the concealer over top. But if you had like discoloration, let's just go ahead and say that I want to cover up these beauty marks. Then you blend it out. I don't think it covered my beauty mark very much. That's okay. And then over top, I'm applying my NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. I'm in the shade Medium 1 Custard. Okay, so I blended out the concealer over top. It definitely looks bright, but I find that the Creamy Radiant Concealer is very brightening on its own. I'm not sure, like, I don't usually color correct to begin with. I think if you are someone who looks for color correctors, these would be good because they have the same creamy texture as their concealers, so they're very hydrating and long wearing, so they're not going to be drying, because some color correctors are in like a little pot and they're very cakey and drying. So if you want something more fluid and hydrating, I would say try these ones here. For me, I think I'll only use these if I'm feeling like super tired and exhausted, because on its own, I like their concealer. Before I go any further, let me throw on some mascara because I totally forgot to apply it. I'm using the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of powder. This is the Tatcha Silk Powder, and this is the Radiant Translucent Setting Powder. So I just take a little bit and swirl it around. I'm actually using a BK Beauty Brush 108. This is like a tapered face brush, but sometimes I use it for bronzer, cheek, highlighter, all that. But it actually works really well for under eyes because it just fits really nicely here. And then I'm just putting some on my T-zone just to set things down. This is a really great powder for under eyes because it doesn't dry at all. It's the Silk Canvas powder, and I know a lot of you told me you love this powder when I hauled it, and I have to say, I get it. It's a really wonderful powder, like oh my goodness. It doesn't look like I have any powder on my eyes here, which is really great because I hate when you set your under eye and it looks cakey and like it makes you, like it ages you. This powder here does not do that. So I've been using it mostly to set my under eyes and just loosely powder my T-zone. I find that it doesn't change my concealer or foundation. It doesn't make it look dry or cakey. It just helps it stay a little bit longer and just look really nice and silky. This powder here is really great. Now let's move on to some blush. So for the blush, I'm going to use my Givenchy Prisme Libre loose blush here, and I'm using the number 3, which is like a nice coral color. And this is the Rephr 18 cheek brush here. I'm just taking some product from the cap and then blending it out. Now I'm going to go into this top color up here, and I'm using the Rephr brush number 3 just to add a little bit of brightness on the inner corner. For the lip, I'm going to go into one of my Lisa Eldridge. This is the Velvet Muse color here. It's a nice nudie color that I think will match really nicely with today's look. And then I also added the Velvet Muse gloss over top. For the fragrance, I'm feeling something a little bit spicy, so I'm going to go into my Lancôme Idole Eau de Parfum. This came out, I think, 2 years ago. So some people say it's very close to La Vie est Belle. I find that it's very different. It's much more floral and has more patchouli than La Vie est Belle. Like La Vie est Belle is very sweet and gourmand and caramelly. This is like a warm, spicy, very rose, very floral fragrance. It does have some sweet notes to it, but it's not like that heavy gourmand perfume. And so I just think it'll be nice for today's whole aesthetic. It also smells very clean and very fresh as well. This could be someone's just like signature daytime perfume. Okay, so this is the complete look with a fragrance. So let me know what you think. This is my interpretation for one of the looks using this NARS palette. I will create at least one more look. I can create a look with the more burgundy, slightly red tones, and then one with the blues. I think if you buy this palette, you have to break it down into these types of categories. Like just look at one shade family, one color family, and go into that. I could have also stuck to more of the browns, like with this color here, and then more of like the gold colors. I think it could have been nice as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing with this palette here. I'm gonna go ahead and reuse it. If there's any shades or colors in particular you want me to use or create a look for, leave a comment down below. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this entire look and the products that I used today. Let me know if there's any other makeup combinations or products you want me to test out and review in the near future. I am happy to do that for you. If you're new to my channel or if you've been watching for some time but just haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Those are all fabulous ways to help me out. I will also leave an affiliate link down below to the Rephr sale. Don't feel pressured to buying anything you don't need, but if you want to get something, feel free to use my affiliate link. That does help me out as well. All right, guys, I think this is it for today's look. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you're all staying safe and healthy at home. And yeah, this is it for today. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.